the night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Arguably the day of the year. I'm going to say it, and I just did. I mean, it was what, 73, 74? Perfect, no wind. Typically, I like it a little bit hotter, but it's not about me. It's about you, and it's about the weather. It was phenomenal. Just really tore up today. Did a lot of errands, took care of a lot of things I needed to take care of, and enjoyed spending a day on just about every single road throughout the greater Jacksonville area. And I got to tell you, it was a good time. It was. Very emotional week around here. It's Las Vegas week. It's the Raiders and a battle of a couple of 3-11 teams. Actually, check that. I want to say LA's 2-12. So 2-12 against 3-11. And we'll have much more on that exciting matchup coming up in just a little bit. Both defenses are awful. I mean, just terrible. They're among the league worst. They both allow 27.9 a game. Make that 26.9, a game defensively. Again, it's about an offensive juggernaut in this one. Which way are you leaning? Jacksonville, that averages 18.8 a game. That's 26th in pro football. The Raiders are 29th in the NFL, averaging 17.5 points. We're 40 minutes away from the Philly Godfather, and we'll check the money with him. Primarily, though, and accept my apology, but I don't even think I'm going to ask him about that game because we're on the eve of the first of 4 college football playoff matchups. And I got to say, I'm a little disappointed. I am. And for starters, I have been a massive advocate of a college football playoff forever. I mean, really for decades. And now that we have it, it feels like it was just kind of thrown together. Doesn't it feel like it was, that expression, just go wing it? It feels like that is what has happened here. And the best example I can give you is year after year after year after year, whether the Jaguars are in the playoff hunt or in the playoffs like they were 3 years ago, right? Year 2 with Trevor, year 1 with Doug Peterson. We all remember what they did very late in the season, all those come-from-behind victories. And then, of course, down 27-0 against LAC, the come-from-behind win, Al Michaels, all his excitement on that game-winning field goal by the Jacksonville Jaguars. But whenever we get to Wild Card Weekend, that's what we talk about. The games, home teams, road teams, success recently in the NFL. And no matter what it is, the anticipation is there. The excitement is there. It's playoff football. Well, I get that in the grand scheme of things, the NFL is national, whether you're in Portland, Oregon, or Portland, Maine. College football is still fringe in a lot of places. Do you think they even are going to mention the college football playoff this week in Boston? Do you think they are in Philadelphia outside of maybe just a tiny bit of a notice that, hey, Penn State's playing within the state or New York City or Los Angeles? I mean, it just doesn't happen. You're going to get a lot of play on campus. You can get a lot of play in massive college football towns. But even us here, I mean, I feel like we haven't really done anything at all when it comes to looking at the games. And they're all a little bit one-sided. These aren't classic wild card games. These aren't classic NFL matchups week in, week out, where typically the line is 3 points or less. I mean, Notre Dame's a 7-point favorite tomorrow night against Indiana. And I think Notre Dame will get a lot of popular money coming in tonight and tomorrow. I wouldn't be surprised at all if you see that line go to 8. 8.5. If it goes under 7, I'd be very surprised. That's just my opinion. Penn State, 8.5-point favorite against SMU. Texas, favored by 12 over Clemson. Ohio State, 7.5, 8 right now against Tennessee. And we're getting to the best football of the year. I just don't feel it. And I think it's twofold here. I think the reason for that is it's not that you are not a fan. It's not that when it comes down to it tomorrow night, you're not going to find yourself in front of the television, and then that'll include all 3 games on Saturday. But there's so much more going on in college football that it has distracted you from what is going on with these games, where in the NFL, that's the only thing that matters, right? Yes, some coaches get fired, okay, and we have Black Monday and the rumors begin and teams are going to hire coaches. That definitely plays its part, and they keep changing the rules every year about when you're allowed to actually interview coaches who are in the playoffs and if they advance to the next round. I mean, those rules change, it feels like almost yearly. But again, the NFL is smart enough. They're savvy enough where they know how to place things, where college football has totally blown every opportunity to give themselves more of a platform. They did it with the transfer portal. Lane Kiffin said it best a couple of days ago. Can you imagine there being NFL free agency right as the playoffs began? And you would have guys opting out of the – I mean, and I know it's somewhat fictional, but it's still a great point. Look at Florida. And especially if this kid is going to get out of Oregon now, the Wilson kid, and come back here and play it. Look at what Florida's done the last couple of weeks. I haven't heard anyone talk about the Florida-Tulane game, okay? It's all about getting kids, flipping kids, great recruiting class. DJ Lagway, already 8th or 9th preseason Heisman Trophy, his odds. I posted that a little bit earlier today on Twitter. It's incredible, and that's what they're talking about. I get it. That's what they should be talking about. Miami, it's about replacing Cam Ward. Florida State, it's like they somehow salvaged things with some pretty good signings on recruiting day, and then they got off to a fairly fast start with Castellanos and then getting an offensive lineman and getting an edge rusher and getting a linebacker, but they've gone really cold in the last couple of days. So if you take the temperature of what's going on, because of the timing, it's taken away from the college football playoff. On top of that, something that was never really researched or was never really considered is all of a sudden you can get tickets to these games for almost nothing. Why? The entire student body goes home. Not everyone lives where they go to school. Okay, every year I would fly back to Boston when school was over. Now, I would go to big bowl games. I would go to the Fiesta Bowl. I would go to the Orange Bowl. Florida State, it seemed like they played Nebraska about every year in the late 1980s and into the 90s, and I would go, okay? But kids are home. And all of a sudden, there's going to be some situations that, now I don't know if that'll affect Notre Dame because you have both within the state, but I saw something that was produced today that blew me away about the availability of tickets at Penn State and Texas and even Ohio State, which shocked me. And I just figured Columbus being a pretty big city and what surrounds Columbus, that they would be there. But apparently it's not like a normal college football Saturday where that is already put into, your yearly plan. You're going to every Ohio State game or you're going to half the Ohio State games. Now, all of a sudden, you drop these games on you 2 days away from Christmas, and people can't make it there. So, was it poor planning? Should they have done it the week after Championship Saturday and then put in a little bit of time off before we got to the remaining rounds of the college football playoff? I don't know. Should they put them on a neutral site? Take away first-round games that are played on campus? I don't know. And then on top of that, the whole story about JUCO and whether or not those players will actually officially be allowed to come in and play. We know that the judge in Tennessee temporarily, it's a win for Diego Pavia. It is. It's a temporary victory for him. But the case isn't over, right? the initial ruling is certainly in his favor. And, you just look at what Steve Sarkisian comes out and says today. Are you trying to tell me that we're going to have now in college football 28, 29-year-olds who are playing? That could be where we are headed. So, unfortunately, there just feels like there's such a mess. The transfer portal, the timing of it, it should be later, not earlier. Oh, but the kids need to go to school. No, forget about it. Make an exception for those kids. It's not like we're talking about 50 kids. We're talking about maybe 10 kids, okay? They're going to be behind. You can get caught up online. Should you push that back because it would be better for the bowl system, because it would be better for these playoff games? I don't have the answers. No one does. So it leaves us with what? Just a real big mess. The sport that we love right now, it is. And if you're hot, like Florida, you don't want to hear it. Because I've been there. A year ago, I was in your shoes before being left at the altar and getting blown out by Georgia. But a year ago, I thought college football was great. I thought the transfer portal was great because it was working for Florida State. This year, it absolutely blew up in their face. But that's the way we measure things in college football. If it's working right now for the school that you love, you're like, yeah, I'm all for it. But once it turns on you, it's amazing how many problems you really do have with this sport. And then again, you compare it to the mighty NFL, which does not make mistakes. And what does the NFL have? They have plenty of leadership. They have those who govern, right? It's always been the wild, wild west in college football. The only difference today is that it's legally the wild, wild west. I hope it changes for the better. I have no idea how to begin it. I do know that Tim Brando is a guy who absolutely has an opinion on that, and I believe we're going to have Timmy coming up here on the other side. I know he was catching a plane for Providence, Rhode Island to call some college basketball coming up this weekend. I do plan that he will be our first guest coming up here in about 5 minutes. All right, opening comments tonight and every night brought to you by the good folks over at Shmunez Vision. And, at Shmunez Vision, they have just introduced their newest doctor. That is Dr. John Hunt, okay? Again, combined now, we're talking about more than 30 years worth of experience when you talk about Dr. Hunt and Dr. Catherine Shmunez, Dr. Neil Shmunez, regardless of what your issue may be. Let's look at cataract, for instance, because that is such a problem for so many people, and it petrifies you when you hear that you may have an issue. First off, you may not need surgery. They may be able to provide another remedy for you. So set up an appointment today. Secondly, if surgery is needed, more than 30 years worth of experience. Again, they did surgery on my right eye going back 8.5 years ago. I've never had a problem. I have never had a setback. I want you to get the same care. I want you to go to the best in Jacksonville when it involves your eyes, whether it's you, your kids, your grandkids, your parents. It doesn't matter, okay? They are there for you, located out the beach. Check them out online. Wonderful website. Go to Shmunez Vision. Or as well, you can go to Instagram, and you can get all of the testimonials there at Shmunez Vision. All right, we got a lot to do tonight. We really do. Fired up for this Thursday. I want to begin to talk about some of these college football playoff games, which begin tomorrow night, then the 3 on Saturday. We got a lot to do as far as the Jaguars coming up in the program. The Philly Godfather is going to join us later this hour. We'll take a look at all 4 of the college football playoff games from a handicapping perspective. And we expect Tim Brando on the other side as we crank things up right here on a Thursday edition.
This is Mark Brunelli.
This is Steve Smith from the New York Giants.
This is Rocky Bleier, former Pittsburgh Steeler and 4-time Super Bowl champion.
You're listening to 1010XL.
1010XL.
92.5 FM.
Looking for a new vehicle? Take a look at Jenkins Hyundai of Jacksonville. Now's the time to save big. Choose from more than 250 new and over 1,000 used and certified pre-owned vehicles on the lot, or shop anytime at JenkinsHyundaiofJacksonville.com. Hyundai has one of the top warranties in the business. Lifetime, powertrain, and 5-year bumper-to-bumper warranty, plus 3 years free maintenance on a new vehicle. Give them the chance to earn your business today on Atlantic Boulevard or at JenkinsHyundaiofJacksonville.com.
Ballou for Shinatri Chiropractic. They've helped me get rid of my headaches and pain in my neck and back. Are you suffering from an auto accident? What about TMJ pain? Headaches associated with jaw clenching, grinding of the teeth, or stress-related disorders? Shinatri Chiropractic has a physical therapist on staff for rehabilitation, quality chiropractic care, dry needling, massage, and acupuncture. Call 743-6700 or go to ShinatriDC.com.
Get more Gators with Dan Hickett and me, Frank Frangie, on all things Gators on 1010XL Gators Podcast, with new episodes every Monday, brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists, wherever you find podcasts, and at 1010XL.com.
I'm here with Danny Van Sickle, Director of the Electrical Training Alliance. Danny, tell me about your program.
Hey, Rick, we're a 4-year electrical apprenticeship. Our students start out making over $40,000 a year, and right now make over $90,000 a year, including benefits. There is no tuition or student debt. You just have to apply and get accepted.
Did you say no tuition and no student debt?
You heard that right, Rick. Once you're accepted to the program, your only cost for the books and the course fees, about $800 a year.
That sounds like an amazing opportunity. How can I learn more?
Just go to etajax.org, and you can apply there.
Apply by May 15th.
Hickett here for Bowden Eye & Associates, where you'll find Jacksonville's most esteemed eye doctors at each of their locations. After being selected for one of the most competitive ophthalmology fellowships in the world, Dr. Frank Bowden is frequently called upon for his expert opinion. He is currently one of the few cornea and external disease specialists in the area and the founder of Bowden Eye. Visit Bowden Eye & Associates today and experience the difference. Bowden Eye & Associates, keeping the First Coast focused.
Frank Frangie here, and I can't say enough good things about the team at Sunshine Turf and the work they've done for us. Let Sunshine Turf transform your backyard into a low-maintenance oasis that will be green all year long with artificial turf. Caleb and his team can help you create the lush outdoor space of your dreams, whether you want a durable place for your kids to play or you're ready to say goodbye to muddy paw prints. Visit sunshineturf.info or call 904-383-0243 for a free quote today from Sunshine Turf.
Hey, sports fans, this is Hayes Carline from MyBookie. Our listeners have been killing it in a year full of surprises. MyBookie is the one book that's got your back. No fluff, no second guessing, just straight up action. Does your other sports book pay out when you push on a bet? MyBookie pays you back. And if you're new to the game and not sure where to start, we've got you covered. Step up, use our promo code 1010XL, and that'll double your bankroll with a 100% deposit bonus right from the jump. Here's a pro tip to get you rolling. The NFL teams with powerhouse offensive lines are dominating the run game this year, and betting game total unders has been printing money. Stack that with MyBookie's risk-free Thursdays, so why wait? There's a new risk-free odds boost every Thursday. To find the bet, click on the Bet Boost tab and scroll down. If it hits, you win. If it doesn't, MyBookie refunds your money. Sign up now. Get your double deposit bonus with promo code 1010XL, the best sign-up bonus for Florida bettors. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere with MyBookie.
Hey everybody, Mike Dempsey here for Dandy Foods. Dandy subs and sandwiches. Look, we always want you to think about those great options as you're driving around Duval. But the beauty is, even as I'm dropping pounds, Dandy's got great options for me as well. Told you all about their protein packs, delicious salads that they have out there. They have fruit cups for on the go. You know what they have. Veggie snack trays. You can grab those on the go as well. Perfect, healthy snack. Dandy is the name to know when you're on the go. So stop into a Gate store anywhere around Duval and make yours a Dandy, and do it today.
Hey, Jacksonville, I'm sure by now you've seen our bright green GFL trucks and containers throughout the greater Jacksonville area. We are an industry leader in solid waste and would love the opportunity to earn your business. We are committed to customer service, reliability, and have unwavering focus on safety. Whether commercial or construction, let us haul your waste away. Call 904-760-5880 to get a quote today. GFL, green for life.
Jimerson Burr is a full-service, Florida-based commercial law firm that has experience and capabilities to handle any legal issue a business is confronted with. Learn more about what they can do for you at jimersonfirm.com.
Ho, ho, ho! When I need gifts for special people, I go to Tobacco Cove at 3849 Bay Meadows Road.
They have everything you need to make Christmas as special as they are. Find the finest in limited cigars, pipes and pipe tobacco, and the accessories that make life easier like humidors, cutters, and lighters. And don't forget Lampe Bergère fragrance lamps. So, take my advice and go to Tobacco Cove, 3849 Bay Meadows Road, and make this Christmas one they'll remember.
Need a piece of jewelry that won't break your wallet? Beaches Jewelry and Pawn has tons of reconditioned jewelry, always inspected by their jeweler. Beaches Jewelry and Pawn in Jacks Beach. Online at beachesjewelryandpawn.com.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Now, another great guest on the Garber Auto Mall phone line.
Hello.
We can wiggle it.
All right, our guest is our weekly conversation, Fox Sports' Tim Brando. Hoop season for Timmy B, but he always keeps his eye on everything that is in the world of college football. Mr. Brando, how are you?
You think? I just checked into my hotel here in lovely Providence, home of the Friars, where one-time Florida coach Billy Donovan started as guide.
Sure did.
Number 34, Billy Donovan. I get great memories whenever I come to Providence.
Let's go Friars.
Yeah, you know what? When I lived in Connecticut, I'm just going to tell you this right now. My favorite town in New England was Providence. And I think the reason was it is a great town. And I'm not a New Englander by any stretch. As you know, I couldn't stand living in and around the Bristol area. But Farmington, which was our home, was something that was good for Terry and Tiffany, our firstborn at that time. And I loved working at ESPN in those days. It was a great place, great friends, forever friends, really. But it was just a terrible place to live. There was nothing in the Hartford Springfield area. But if you drove, to Newport or you went over to Providence, you go to Federal Way, the restaurants, the Italian bistros, the places that you could eat and drink and be merry were so outstanding. And Pitino was literally a babe in the woods in college basketball. He had just started at Providence in 87, and he took that team with Billy Donovan to the Final Four. I'm 31 years old. I covered their first game. Bill Raftery and I did the first game in the history of Providence Friars basketball when they beat, and that was a proud tradition. Ernie DiGregorio had played there when I was in middle school, when I was in junior high. And they went to the Final Four with Marvin Barnes and those guys. I was 13 years old.
Yeah.
All right, but now fast forward to 1987. It's been a while, okay? It's been a minute. It's now 87. And Pitino, this young, brash Hubie Brown assistant coach, protege of Hubie Brown's from the Knicks, comes in, takes over, and takes them with a kid that was barely recruited, Billy Donovan, to the Final Four in 87. And I'm doing the game when they first beat, for the first time in the history of the school, Georgetown, which was the behemoth of college basketball at that time. And John Thompson and Pitino in the middle of the game had a tete-a-tete. They started yelling, screaming at each other. It was just an emotional, incredible night. Game was won on a buzzer beater in overtime by Ernie Pops Lewis. And I'm 31 years old calling the game with, the already established icon, Bill Raftery. And I got to tell you, it was one of the most thrilling nights of my young career. And I can't come here without thinking of all those different things.
Was Michael Graham on that team by any?
Graham was gone by that time. They had won the 84 title in 85.
I loved Michael Graham.
But Reggie Williams, Dwayne Bryant, all those guys that continued the Georgetown. They were number one in the country that night.
I grew up a Georgetown fan. I grew up. I love the Hoyas. And by the way, let's go Friars. Let's go Hoyas. They do the same cheer.
I used to love listen to the PA announcer here with that deep New England, accent. Starting at guard for the Friars, number 34, Billy Donovan. Billy Donovan, number 34. You know, he had to repeat himself. He was doing a Bob Shepard of the Yankees impression. You know, as the PA.
And he never paid for a drink on Federal. He never paid for a cocktail on Federal Hill. Let me tell you that.
Federal Hill, no. And by the way, I'll be going to Capitol Grill as soon as I get done.
Oh my goodness!
I'm headed to Capitol Grill on Federal Hill as soon as we're done.
We had 3 trips there when I was the Jaguars sideline reporter, and the Jaguars always stay in Providence, Rhode Island. They don't stay in Boston because Foxborough's not too far away. So those 3 times, and including we practiced for 3 days there against the Patriots in 2017. So I got to relive some Providence, Rhode Island memories.
Oh, man. I'm sure.
Great city.
John Harbaugh, when he brings the Ravens in town, always stays at the Omni, which is right next door to the place they used to call the Dunk, where the games are played. It's got a new sponsor's name now. I'll know it by the time we go on the air tomorrow, but it's still the Dunk to me. Just like, last week we were at the place called Jersey Mike's, and it's really the Rack, in New Jersey, in Piscataway. But it's just great tradition and history in that place. And that night, when it was still the Providence Civic Center back then. It was still called the Providence Civic Center in the 80s. And that was an unbelievable night in the history of Providence basketball, and sort of announced them as a major player in Big East basketball. And it really made Pitino's career. Pitino, became a rock star in this town. And now here I am tomorrow night. He's now 72 years old. And just a few weeks removed from, Louis Carnesecca's funeral.
Yeah.
Rick is still, propping up the memory of Louis. And I can tell you, in 1987, Rick, long before many of your listeners were born, Louis Carnesecca and Rolly Massimino, the 2 paisans of the Big East, hated Rick, but they hated Rick Pitino. They hated him because he was this new brash Hubie Brown protege, came from the NBA. And of course, all that changed over time. As everybody gets older, they get more wisdom and they become more caring and concerned and sensitive. And Rick, of course, gave Louis a lot of joy before he passed on just a few weeks ago at age 99. So it's I don't know. I get a little bit nostalgic when I come here.
No doubt. And I miss the old Big East. The Dave Gavitt led Big East. I miss it. I mean, with all the changes, we've talked all about the college football changes and the elimination of the Pac-12 and everything. I was really set back years ago when they broke up the Big East. I love the Big East in basketball.
Mm-hmm.
I grew up with it right there in Boston.
Well, I will say this. This is the home still of the Big East. The Providence and the Big East offices, they moved to New York, but this was the home of it. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And Gavitt, who coached Ernie D in that 1970 Final Four with Marvin Barnes, was the founder of the new Big East, and in 1984 and built it from 79 through 84 to a point where they had 3 Final Four teams in 85. And that was my first year to do Big East basketball. So the calendar was on my side. But let me just say to people that regardless of old or new, the Big East still carries that mantra. It still has that juice from what was the old Big East into the new Big East, because now it's all about basketball all the time. It's the only basketball-only league. And these schools are making, relatively speaking, it's not the same as the football schools, but for their basketball programs, they're as well funded as any of the Power Four would be in football and basketball environments. So it's still got that big-time feel. If you went to a game tomorrow, if you were at our game tomorrow night, you would feel it. It would feel like 1987 to you. It would. That's just the way they treat it here. But anyway, I know you want to talk some football. I do too. And the only problem I have with tomorrow night, let me be up front. My buddy Sean McDonough, a native New Englander who was born and raised as Will McDonough's son in Boston, he's going to be in the heartland of America doing Notre Dame and Indiana opposite me, and even I will have a dangling eye on his game I wish we weren't on opposite his game because I know we'll just be hoping that people tune over during timeout of our game because that's the game of this playoff season, this first round of the historic weekend of college football's first round of the college football playoff with 12 teams. That's the game I most want to see.
Really?
That's the game. Oh, yeah. It's the game, to me, that's the most compelling. It's an in-state game that Notre Dame would never play, okay, unless they were forced to play it. And they are being forced to play it by virtue of making the playoff and having a home game. They'd never schedule Indiana in a non-conference game at home. Never.
Right.
And a lot of Indiana basketball fans that grew up, loving Bobby Knight in the 80s, they loved Indiana. They went to school in Indiana, but during football season, who do you think they rooted for?
Mm-hmm.
They rooted for Notre Dame.
Mm-hmm.
They rooted for because Indiana was a nomad when it came to football. They weren't on the radar screen for anybody, and so that's what makes this game. I think that game so compelling. I talked to Sean earlier this week. I know he's stoked for the game. I got my DVR on, and hopefully our game, because it's a little 20-minute halves. Hopefully I'll get back to my hotel room across the street for the last quarter and a half tomorrow night.
No, if the refs call a good game, it could be in and out, and you won't have to deal with any of that. That's always a concern along with timeouts. You've been on Indiana all year long. Why do you believe they can go into those hollow grounds and win a night football game at Notre Dame?
Well, first and foremost, intangibles. Whenever you hear and see today's punditry, a lot of it's based on the betting that takes place and all the networks. Fox is involved with betting, so is ESPN. Everybody's involved with it, but they always sort of everything's based on how many yards do they give up on the ground, what's the average that they give up on the ground, what's being done in the air, how do teams pass against 18. It becomes statistical data ad nauseum. And they fail to understand the intangibles. And the intangibles in college football still matter, okay, regardless of everything else that's out there, regardless of the transfer portal, of the NIL, which is getting, understandably, a lot of attention. I wish it weren't, but it is. Think about it, Rick.
Mm-hmm.
How much this week about celebrating the playoff have we really had?
I know.
It's all been bitching and moaning and whining and grinding. College football does such a disservice to itself with the help of the NCAA. Okay, Charlie Baker goes to Capitol Hill, makes a complete fool of himself yesterday.
I guess.
A complete fool of himself. It's a joke.
Talk about being unprepared. He didn't know any of these questions coming to him.
None of them. But think about how great what we have in front of us is going to be. Tomorrow night, all day Saturday. I'm going to get home. The one good thing about working Friday night, even though I missed tomorrow night's first half, is I will be home to watch all three of those games on Saturday, and I will be all over it. But how much conversation, water cooler conversation, has there been in the media about these games?
Well,
I mean, not a lot.
I just started my show with that, Tim, and I got on myself as well. It's poor timing by college football, and I thought Lane Kiffin was brilliant when he said, "Can you imagine if they had free agency right when the NFL playoffs got underway?" And that's what college football's doing with the transfer portal. And they need to change the date.
And who's doing it to college football? The NCAA. Why would you allow the NCAA to blank up? Excuse me. You can put the F word where the blank is, okay? Why would you allow the NCAA and Charlie Baker to blank up the most celebrated, most historic week that college football has ever seen in its history of postseason play? Where else? Okay? They've done it. They've managed to do it. They have got to – I am here to tell you tonight, under no circumstances, moving forward, should the NCAA have any role whatsoever in the future of college football. None.
Mm-hmm.
Charlie Baker, a Democratic a Republican governor that ruled in a blue state of Massachusetts, who was telling us all these things that everybody wanted to hear upon getting the job when Mark Emmert, when his reign ended. And by the way, it was Emmert's reign that drove the NCAA into the NIL transfer portal ditch.
Mm-hmm.
And Baker is completely ill-equipped to pull it out of the ditch. He proved that yesterday when on Capitol Hill, with being asked about sports betting. Oh, by the way, did you not think the question of trans athletes in sports with the volleyball playoffs about to get? Did you not think that question might not come up?
Yeah, it did.
How could you not be prepared to answer those questions? And God bless Senator John Kennedy from my home state of Louisiana for exposing what a farce, what a complete political buffoon this former governor of Massachusetts really is. We had high hopes for this guy, and he is just he's like Mark Emmert 2.0.
Yeah,
completely inept. But let me get back to the game for a second.
Mm-hmm.
Notre Dame.
Right.
Your question was
right.
How can they do it? The intangibles are with Indiana. I believe Rourke is a better quarterback throwing the ball than Riley. Than Riley. I mean, I'm sorry, he hasn't thrown for over 200 yards in a game this year.
It's amazing.
He's not. And what can Indiana best stop? The run game.
Yeah, the run.
The run game is their greatest strength. They can stuff the run. And they've got big play capability. Surratt can make plays. There's no question in my mind that Rourke is the better quarterback, not just throwing the football, but also keeping plays alive. It's not like he's a statue back there. He'll be able to get things done. I don't know what the line was 7.5 earlier in the week. I think it came down to 7, maybe.
Yeah, it's 7.
6.5 yet?
No, it's 7. It's 7.
It'll come down to 6.5.
Really? Okay.
Oh,
See,
yeah.
I thought the public, because the public doesn't know anything, is going to just go with the brand name. Maybe Notre Dame will get some late money.
Well, that was part of it early. But I think as we get closer, people are beginning to understand that Indiana is not just some mirage that didn't play anybody.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Indiana's bad game against Ohio State can be summed up by two special teams gaffes, one at the end of the half and one at the beginning of the half. And other than that, you know, they didn't play that badly. They weren't boat raced in that game. Ohio State had some big-time breaks in special teams that were gifted them by Indiana. And that was because in large measure, Indiana had not played a strong team on the road. Schedule-wise, they didn't have to.
Mm-hmm.
But I think they profited from that. And I really believe that Cignetti is right when he said, we learned from that. That game was an aberration.
Well,
and as I said, I believe Indiana has the personnel on both sides of the ball to beat Notre Dame.
Yeah. If Notre Dame wins, they'll win because of what they've done well all year, and they're a beast when it comes to takeaways. I mean,
sure.
their turnover to takeaway ratio is absolutely fantastic, and if they can force Indiana to make some mistakes, they're going to be tough to beat. Last one I want to ask you about. I know you have an opinion on both these teams, but can Tennessee go into Columbus? Man, it's going to be 26 degrees Saturday night in Columbus, Ohio.
Yes, and this is a team that's made to order to beat Ohio State, particularly with their dauber down and their coach's lifespan as head coach at Ohio State on the line. Tennessee's what's their greatest strength? Stopping the run.
Mm-hmm.
What did Ohio State try to do to Michigan to prove a point? They tried to run.
Yes, they did.
Stupid mistake. Dumb. And I think they're going to probably make the same mistake again because this coach who knows his job is on the line has his team being called soft, has his team being called left and right. They're on him at home. And let me tell you, I've been at the old Horseshoe of the Banks of the Olentangy in the last 5 years since I've been at Fox. That's a berries and cream crowd, man. It is. And when they play badly, they hear about it. The boos come out.
Mm-hmm.
If Tennessee makes anything happen to get an early lead in this game, the crowd will turn because they want his ass gone.
Yeah, they do.
They want Ryan Day gone.
They want Mike Vrabel.
Yeah, they do. They absolutely do. And this will all work. Again, you talk about intangibles. They're all with Tennessee here. Sort of like Indiana, in my mind, playing with house money. You know, Heupel can go in and just kind of empty the bucket, and nobody in Knoxville is going to give him a hard time if he happens to lose this game. They're not. They're going to say, you know, we made it. Alabama didn't.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they're going to say. I mean, there's just not as much at stake for him as there is for Ryan Day. And I will predict to you that if this game goes the way I think it will, I've got two upsets here. I've got Indiana and I've got Tennessee.
Wow.
Both winning.
Wow.
And I think the other games will be very competitive, by the way. I think SMU's going to really give Penn State a hard time. I mean, really give Penn State a hard time. And especially with Penn State without their backup quarterback because of the portal, the god-awful portal, which should never be open now. But
of course not. And it is. And it's awful.
Yeah. It's pathetic. It's just another sign where the NCAA is undermining college football at the greatest period of time that college football has ever experienced. But I do believe that Tennessee has the defense. Now, if we were talking about the Tennessee team a year ago that had to score 45 or 50 to win, and yet we give up 30, this Tennessee defense is their strength.
Yep.
Is their absolute strength. And I think they've got enough big play capability to match Ohio State. And ultimately, the Ryan Day issue, the lingering residue of the Michigan loss, and the way those people – the best thing that could have happened to Ohio State, Rick, would be to have played a road game this week. They needed to get the hell out of Columbus.
Interesting. It's interesting the way you said that.
The vibe in Columbus is awful. Right.
Hey, Tim, I'm completely out of time. You got a huge game tomorrow night, 8 o'clock on Fox, St. John's Providence, in Providence, Rhode Island. I've never asked before, does Brother Bino show up for hoop games every once in a while?
Unbelievable. The memories of Ernie Dave, Harvard Bard, of Rick Pitino coming back. He's 70. It's unbelievable. Carter Stecker hated him. Now he's like carrying the banner for the ghost of little Louie. Unbelievable. It's going to be great. I like the Johnnies. They're going to go to the tournament. They're going to be a Sweet 16 team. The Friars are giving them a game opponent. All those guys from Staten Island that are voting for Providence, they're betting on them big time. They're going to go down. They're going to go down hard.
Tim Brando. He'll have a big one tomorrow night, 8 o'clock on Fox, St. John's in Providence. God bless you, sir, and enjoy yourself on Federal Hill. I am disappointed. I mean, I'm jealous. I'll just come right out and say it.
Merry Christmas to you, Rick. I'll see you next year.
There he
All
goes.
right,
There he is. Tim Brando. Unbelievable. Ernie DeGario and Marvin Barnes. I remember those guys. I grew up with them. I mean, a little bit before my time. But they were like legendary names growing up in Boston. Federal Hill, if you've ever been, you don't want to go this time of year, but if you've ever been in Providence, Rhode Island, is not too far away from the campus of Brown. And Providence University is a fantastic place. All right, let's get ready for the Philly Godfather. He's next.
Hey, John, are you a small business owner looking to make the most of your investments?
Absolutely. And now is the time to take advantage of some incredible tax deductions.
You can qualify for a 2024 tax deduction for up to 60% of the purchase price of a brand new Cadillac.
Think Escalade, Lyric, Optic, XT5, and XT6.
We have over 100 in stock at Rainy Marion Cadillac, Southside Boulevard, Jacksonville. It's the perfect time to upgrade your business fleet.
This is not tax advice. Consult with your tax advisor for further details and to determine eligibility. Plus tax tag title $8.99 admin fee and resist all and approved credit.
Are you 18 years or older, just got married, just got divorced, or have children? Listen up. Have you done your last will and estate planning? If you have questions, call Matt Hinson with the Hinson Law Firm. Reach him at 527-1700. Office is Jacksonville, Florida. And don't let the state decide your fate.
Hey, this is Bert Cannon with the First Coast YMCA. Youth sports at the Y can help nurture your future athlete's potential and experience the joy of being a kid. At the Y, we're providing a safe, clean, and fun environment with basketball, soccer, volleyball, gymnastics, elite skills training, and more. Best of all, participation in Legacy Youth Sports League is free with your family membership. Visit fcymca.org to learn all about youth sports at the Y.
There's still time to grab a mouth-watering holiday roast at Southern Steer Butcher in Ortega. Come for the roast and leave a hero with last-minute gift cards for the whole fam.
For tasty tips and juicy breasts, choose Southern Steer Butcher.
This date in sports history is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On December 19, 1984, hockey legend Wayne Gretzky, at the age of 23, becomes the youngest NHL player and 18th player to score 1,000 points.
Bueller Air and Plumbing presents Are You Cool?
Today's contestant, a professional stamp licker from Jacksonville, Florida, meet Martin Celery.
Oh, gosh. I can't wait to play, Bob.
Well, let's move things along. Tell him what he's won, Johnny.
Wait, but
That's right, Marty. At Bueller Air and Plumbing, we've stocked up on the remaining inventory of low-cost 2024 model air conditioners. So you win. We're passing the savings on to you.
Can I answer a question first?
We need to make room for the 25s, so we're offering great deals on AC replacements while supplies last.
Could I spin the wheel at least? I've been practicing for a year.
With last-minute deals like this, there's no question that you are cool.
What do I tell my kids?
There you go. Have a souvenir t-shirt.
Thanks.
Stay cooler with Bueller. Visit BuellerAir.com.
What is the longest-running live radio show? The answer coming up.
With storm season blowing wind and rain, it's even more critical to protect your valuable assets with a policy from Southern Oak Insurance. Ask your agent about Southern Oak today.
Our family protecting yours. Southern Oak Insurance.
The longest-running radio program is the Grand Ole Opry, broadcast on WSM radio since 1925, almost 100 years ago.
Southern Oak Insurance, our family protecting yours.
Daly's Dash is not only your Jaguars game day stop, but a great place to grab a meal any day of the week. To honor the Jags and the fans, we've crafted the Duval Sub. The Duval comes with freshly sliced turkey, ham, melted cheddar, and habanero jack cheese, topped with crisp lettuce, fresh tomatoes, and a double portion of our secret sauce, all served on a fresh roll. Come by your local's Daly's Dash today to get your delicious Duval Sub. Daly's is the official convenience store sponsor of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
This holiday season, give your home the gift that keeps on giving. Beautiful, energy-efficient windows and doors from Renewal by Andersen. With our exclusive Fibrix material, you'll enjoy windows that keep the cold out and the warmth in, perfect for those cozy nights by the fire. Limited time offer. Call today. Buy one, get one 40% off windows and doors. Visit bestwindowsflorida.com. Restrictions apply. License number CGC 1527613.
Hello, this is Father Nicholas Lowe, and I want to talk to you about being a peacemaker. Friends, so often we can only want to help people who are in our inner circle. But God never had inner circles. The world was his inner circle, and he's depending on us to make a difference and to leave our mark in this life. So go out today receiving his peace and then sharing it with the world.
To hear more inspirational messages by Reverend Dr. Nicholas Lowe, please visit our website at stjohnthedivine.com.
O'Reilly. Check engine light on? Take the guesswork out of your check engine light with O'Reilly Veriscan. It's free and provides a report with solutions based on over 650 million vehicle scans verified by ASE certified master technicians. And if you need help, we can recommend a shop for you. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan today.
O'Reilly Auto Parts. Time now for a medical recap. A health and wellness tip from Jaguars head team physician, Dr. Kevin Kaplan.
Regular strength training is key to maintaining muscle mass. Like muscle building, you need to stress the muscle to maintain strength. This means lifting enough weight and doing enough reps to the point where it's too hard to do one more. Yoga and Pilates are also lower impact muscle building workouts that help maintain lean body mass and improve flexibility. Let's get moving, Jacksonville.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Now, another great guest on the Garber Auto Mall phone line.
Hello.
We can wiggle it.
All right, let's bring him in and wish him a very Merry Christmas as well. He is the Philly Godfather, and he goes into the night with Rick Ballou. Welcome, sir.
Hey, Rick, thanks for having me on, man. Great time of the year. Christmas right around the corner, New Year's, college football playoffs, NFL's winding down, if you can believe that. It's just a magical time of the year.
Yeah, we just got off the horn with our good friend Tim Brando, who's in Providence, Rhode Island. He's got hoops tomorrow night with Providence St. John, so we know that basketball is well underway. Most teams have played about a dozen games. I want to get into these 4 college football playoff games, but real quick, I know I asked you a year ago, with the transfer portal and all these opt-outs, what about these other bowl games? Are you really particular about who, in fact, you're playing because of those reasons?
Yeah, I'm waiting for a lot, most of the times into the last possible minute to see what's going on with these games, who's not playing, who's, leaving the team. You'll see games like fluctuate 3, 4, 5, 6 points. Some games will be taken off the board. So, you got to be really patient, these days because anything can happen. There's so much uncertainty in the sports betting market when it pertains to college football.
Tomorrow night, the Battle of Indiana. They'll both be used to the cold, and that's a good thing because it's supposed to be 29 degrees with a possibility of snow. Notre Dame has been about a touchdown favorite. Your thoughts on this matchup?
Yeah, the line originally opened up Notre Dame -8 in the offshore market. The combined total was set at 50.5. And since then, we've seen movement on both the side and the total. Notre Dame is now down to -7, painted, at almost every sports book. And the total is actually going up to 52, which surprised me a little bit. The bet splits in Las Vegas up to this point, basically 50-50 on the tickets punched. But 60% of the overall money wagered is on Indiana, meaning that the bigger, sharper bets that move the market are on Indiana here. Notre Dame's had a great season. Obviously, they beat some pretty good teams like A&M, Louisville, Georgia Tech, Navy, Army. But I like Indiana here, plus 7.5. I know it's a big number to cover, and other than those 2 quarters where they got shut out against Ohio State, they had a turnover and some blunders, they've played some great football in the season. And they're giving me 7.5 points. You got 2 solid defensive teams. I think Indiana's defense is good enough to keep us within the Vegas number here. I like Indiana plus 7.5, plus 7.
All right, the last time we talked, you played 3 of the 4 dogs, and you were a big winner. So let's keep that rolling. Plus 7 for Indiana. That is the Friday night game. SMU at Penn State. Same situation. Going to be very, very cold in Happy Valley. About 27 degrees.
I usually hate betting on James Franklin teams, big games, but those big games are usually against teams like Michigan, Ohio State, and this year against Oregon. I just don't think SMU is in that type of hemisphere yet. They do have a couple nice wins on the season against Louisville and Pitt, but when they stepped up the competition against Clemson, they gave up 34 points, lost the game. I think the Mustangs are in over their heads here. Penn State's a complete football team ranking top 8 in both offensive and defensive categories. And they do have the 5th best odds to win the national championship at 6-1, and actually had Notre Dame. So I like Penn State here, -8. Anything under 10 points, I think you can cash a ticket with Penn State.
Weather a factor? I know it's more wind than weather, and in pro football it's not. But when you have a warm weather team like being in Dallas the entire year, I know it's gotten a little chilly, but I mean, still they were working out and it was 100-degree temperatures at some point. Does that come into play?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, a team like Penn State that's battle-tested in that type of weather. And as long as the wind ain't bad, because the wind's going to hurt both teams. I mean, both teams are passing teams. Both teams can put up some points. But, a solid defensive team like Penn State, and even though SMU's numbers are pretty good, their metrics, but, Penn State's defense is that much better.
All right, Philly Godfather, your information out there for our listeners.
Yeah, you can find me on X at Philly Godfather. The website is thephillygodfather.com.
All right, the biggest number is Texas, where weather won't be a factor. It's going to be around 61 degrees. Clemson with 3 losses. They got it done against SMU. Now they got to go to Austin to try to win a football game. Your opinion here?
Yeah, Texas opened up -10. It's up to -12, a couple 11.5s out in the market. The total's been dropping from 53 to 51.5. So there's some sharp money early on that under. I just think Texas is too good of a team here. Clemson, they look pretty good against SMU, but the Longhorns, they're just a different kind of animal. I mean, Texas pass defense is number 1 in the nation. And if Clemson can't establish some type of run game here, it could be a long night for them. I like Texas. Even at 12, I laid 10. It's up to 12, 11.5. I still like Texas here, and I like the under 51.5.
Yeah. Tough to argue that. I just worry about a distraction. I mean, Mel Kiper comes out today and says if Quinn Ewers would be better off transferring, he's going to be a second or third round pick, and it's Arch Manning's team, and then he needs to go elsewhere. I mean, can you imagine having that type of season and being told you're out?
It's unreal.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, we almost witnessed it here with Chris Leak and Tim Tebow, where Chris Leak's the all-time passing leader, historically speaking, at Florida, but Gator fans are like, hit the bricks. You know, it's time for Tim Tebow. So we're seeing it now in Austin, Texas. Final game.
And one more thing. I mean, there's still the odds-on favorite to win the national championship, Texas, at plus 360. So, you know, it's fun to talk about stuff like that, but you really got to pay attention to the market because, you know, the market, people back their opinions with millions of dollars. So that's why I paid attention.
Yeah, interesting point. Last game, Tennessee and Ohio State, late night on Saturday.
Yeah, the lines have been bouncing back and forth from 7.5 down to 7, back to 7.5 all week. And surprisingly, all the early action is on the Volunteers plus 7.5. Last time I checked with my guys offshore and my buddies in Vegas, they said over 70% of the early tickets are on Tennessee. So I never want to be on the public side. I laid 7 with Ohio State. I think they're coming into this game a little undervalued after losing to Michigan. I don't think the Volunteers' offense can put up enough points to cover the Vegas number here. Ohio State's defense is still stout. And other than that loss to Oregon on the road this year, you know, the Buckeyes' defense has given up an average of 9.9 points per game. I think Ohio State minus 7 cashes you a ticket.
All right. Ohio State minus the 7. Once again, the info for our listeners, Philly Godfather.
Yeah, on X at Philly Godfather. The website's thephillygodfather.com. And I'm taking pre-orders for my book at phillybooked.com. It's finally finished. Should be out in about a month or two. So the book's finally done, right?
Well, and we're gonna have a sit down once that is in print and really take a look at it. Not give everything away, but I am thrilled to read your book, and I know a lot of our listeners are going to be very excited about that as well. So that'll be coming up in the very near future. Merry Christmas to you and yours, Philly Godfather.
Merry Christmas, and as always, good luck, guys.
There he goes, the Philly Godfather. That's a book I'm going to read. Guys had a very, very interesting life. I sent you the photo, JJ, when he picked me up in that Corvette. The brand new vet, absolutely. I mean, that's kind of what you would expect out of the Philly Godfather.
Absolutely. I was not disappointed.
Yeah. And he has had an incredible life. There's been many, many peaks. There's been a valley or two, and that's all going to be in the book. So, and, you know, that whole thing in Goodfellas when Ray Liotta's talking about getting that stuff out of Pittsburgh and the whole point shaving that went on with Boston College basketball, and that's how Leslie Visser cut her teeth as the beat reporter for Boston College, and that whole point. I mean, it was the animals. It was those guys out of Philly who did a lot of running with that. I don't want to give too much away because I know it's going to be in that book. And he's worked hard on this book, but that'll be coming out next month. So how cool is that? Tell you what else is cool. Hour number 2 of Into the Night. It's going to involve your comments. 641-1010 on the text line. Brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures. Let's pull it up on YouTube as well. There we go. Getting some comments there. By all means, hit us up on 1010XL Into the Night on YouTube, as well as, again, the text line, which is 641-1010, brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures.
It's the play that influenced the outcome.
Handoff, inside, he sees it, now he goes and gets it. Nice play coming downhill.
Listen for the Performance Painting high-performance play of the game on 1010XL. Performance Painting. Prepare, protect, preserve. Now you can watch 1010XL shows all day on X, Facebook, and YouTube. Brought to you by MyBookie. Experience Vegas from the comfort of your phone anytime, anywhere. Sign up today. Use promo code 1010XL.
Here's Linda Beaver.
Have you heard? Beaver Toyota and Beaver Chevrolet are aiming to sell 1,000 vehicles this December. How? I've told my team to take all reasonable offers. We won't lose your business over price. With thousands of cars, trucks, and SUVs on the ground, all priced to sell, we guarantee the most money for your trade and the easiest car buying experience ever. I promise we ain't leaving nothing on the table. This is the absolute last weekend. Visit Beaver Toyota in St. Augustine or Beaver Chevrolet in Jacksonville. We're here to wow you.
The 12 Days of Christmas is back and better than ever at Best Bet Jacksonville. From December 12th to the 23rd, we're lighting up the tables with our much-anticipated High Hands promotion, giving away over $330,000 in cash and prizes. The excitement continues to grow each day, starting at $1,200 and climbing up to $2,300, and the chance to set sail on a card player poker cruise. Explore all the excitement at bestbetjacks.com. That's bestbetjacks.com.
Hey, Florida drivers, the holiday season is upon us. When celebrating, always plan ahead and know all your options. If you drink, don't get behind the wheel. Instead, designate a sober driver or catch a ride service. And if you are the designated sober driver, commit to staying sober. Besides, a DUI could cost you $10,000. Not exactly the best gift you could give yourself. Celebrate responsibly and remember to drive sober or get pulled over. This message brought to you by the Florida Department of Transportation.
Want to be up close and personal with the Jaguars as they take the field? Here's your chance to be in the shadows, outside the Jaguars locker room, now called the Vault. Enter today at everbank.com/shadows. One winner and a guest for every home game at Everbank Stadium. No purchase necessary to enter or win. Open to legal residents of the United States and D.C. 18 and older. Entry periods for the Shadow Sweepstakes promotion from 8/19/24 to 12/15/24. For official rules and complete details, visit everbank.com/shadows. Sponsored administrator, Everbank NA, member FDIC.
Is your AC ready for the holidays? Bold City Heating and Air ensures your AC stays in tip-top shape. We know that a clean AC is a healthy AC. Upgrade yours for just $96 a month and enjoy free duct cleanings with your new system. Plus, ask about our 0% financing options.
Bold City AC, we got the crew. Bold City AC.
Visit boldcityac.com.
Need a last-minute gift? What's more Duval than a Moss Fire Grill holiday gift card? Right now, you can buy a $100 gift card and get a $25 gift card for free. Only at Moss Fire Grill.
See you on the rooftop.
The flagship station of the Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
PRP treatment is kind of the thing these days, and in many cases, it eliminates the need for surgery. This is Sheridan Tootin, and my experience with PRP from Southeast Orthopedic Specialist has been nothing short of great. I'm really feeling much better now. Ask your Southeast Orthopedic Specialist doctor about PRP treatment.
This is Dr. Kevin Murphy with Southeast Orthopedic Specialists, where athletes are treated like pros.
Relieve pain and get back to life. Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
Interested in a unique date night? Gibby here. I took my wife Nikki to Wick a Candle Bar. She made her own custom candle right there in the store. Shop local at Wick a Candle Bar. Locations in San Marco and Jacks Beach.
Homemade cookies baked fresh by Jen. Original 80s band named Ice Creams by Ray. Build your own cookie ice cream sandwiches from scratch. Cookies and Cream Jack's Beach. Open till 11 Friday and Saturday, 10 weekdays. Making our beach a better place. Cookies and Cream Jack's Beach.
Hello, First Coast. I'm sure by now you have seen our bright green GFL trucks and containers throughout the greater Jacksonville area. We're an industry leader in solid waste and would love the opportunity to earn your business. We're committed to customer service, reliability, and have an unwavering focus on safety. Whether commercial or construction, let us haul your waste away. Call 904-760-5880 to get a quote today from GFL, Green for Life.
Hey, I'm Ben Kay, owner of Gotham City Limit, your local comic shop. Here to let you know we're doing 20% off the entire store, now through Christmas. So unleash your gift-giving spirit, let your passion transmit. Do what we do and take it to the limit. Visit GothamCityLimit.com for more information.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Let's go into the night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
All right, busy first hour. Thank you to both the Philly Godfather and Tim Brando. Let's get into it. Hour number 2. First things first, JJ Guaselva, how are you doing?
I'm great.
Yeah.
I saw our boy Hack at the mall today.
Yeah, he told me his son Forrest, like out of all the places that he could pick to eat, he picked the place in the mall.
Dude, Forrest looks huge now.
Is he really?
Yeah, he's got to be like 6 foot at this point.
That's great. Now, how is I go in those places, I get hives. How is the mall? Because there's so much ordering that you can do now, just grab your phone and order.
Yeah, it's not as packed. First of all, the malls around here are all so crap that, like, I was walking around and just like, this place is falling apart. It's decrepit. Like, no one is in there, really. Even for the holiday season, I guess the parking lot, it makes it seem like it was packed, but it really isn't when you go in there. Let me tell you, though, Town Center, hell on earth right now.
Oh, my goodness.
I was there on, like, a Tuesday at, like, noon.
No, thank you.
I'm like, does anyone work?
Mm-mm.
It was packed. I was stressed. So that's the place that you definitely want to dodge.
For our youngers out there, I feel like they're missing out because you mentioned the mall and you mentioned the town center. There was a time, like when growing up, that's where you met.
Oh, yeah. I loved going to the mall with my friends.
Right.
It's just the place you just walk around aimlessly, and you're poor, so you weren't even really like buying anything. And, might smoke a joint in the parking lot or something like that. But there was really like nothing else to do in Ocala. So like the mall was the place to go.
So it would be like the mall, or, you go like when I was at Florida State, Gobby High was not too far away when I lived on High Road.
Shopping district or something?
No, Gobby High School.
Oh, high school.
Where I go run around the track and, you go to the gym. Those are like 3 really hot spots where you could meet a young lady. And I'm just thinking about the way things are today. I don't go to the gym anymore, but I imagine everyone who's at the gym has their headphones on.
Yes.
Or has whatever they call those little
earbuds.
Yeah. So you're not even having conversations.
No.
You're not even, and you're looking into your phone, and you used to be walking around. You may see someone and try the old smile. Every once in a while, a smile worked, right? You'd look, and just a totally new life now, totally new world where that type of hunting doesn't even come into play anymore.
Sad.
It really is sad. I guess it's a lot easier to just find out who's out there and swipe left or swipe right.
But I'm sure there's plenty of people still hooking up, meeting at the gym. I don't know, being a
you just don't have to talk,
married man.
Which is cool. You don't have to talk now.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I'm talking about earlier in life.
Yes.
Yeah.
The place to meet chicks now, I've heard, is running clubs.
Running clubs?
Running clubs.
Nah,
we got plenty in Jacksonville. Yeah, well, yeah. I'm just talking about a younger guy. If you're, semi-athletic and you're into that, that's where they're at, and that's where the good-looking ones are at.
Well, let's go do a remote. Let's go do a show at a running club. and see
I don't know if it's like at a place. I think that's the point. You're just running with the club.
Yeah, I thought it would be like co-ed softball or co-ed pickleball or co-ed volleyball.
There's plenty of that. There's all kinds of kickball leagues and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, people are still making babies out there. Like you said, a lot of it has gone online, which I don't mind, like getting to know somebody before you go on a first date. The world of, what do you call it, when you didn't even meet the person? The world of blind dates is completely over. Because at this point, even if you're like, hey, I have a friend who you're getting hooked up through a friend. Even then, you're like looking at their Facebook or Instagram. You're already doing a lot of...
That's a good point. I never did a blind date.
I'm sure I have.
I just can't remember one.
But yeah, you're already investigating, you already know where they work and what they look like and where they went to high. You've already done all that.
You got everything right in front of you. But you're missing out on the natural life experience of bumping into someone. Like my old favorite commercial was that woman who used to walk around with that jar of peanut butter. And then the guy would walk into it with a chocolate bar. And then all of a sudden the combination would end up being a Reese's peanut butter cup. But to me, that's the greatest of all time because I've seen every woman imaginable, okay? Every shape, every size. I've never seen a woman walk around with a jug of peanut butter. Yet that commercial lasted forever. And it will go down as one of the greatest. Hey, serious note. I was all over town today. I was Mr. Errand Boy. You know, when Marlon Brando starts talking about you're nothing but an errand boy to Martin Sheen. That was me today, just taking care of a lot of things I need to take care of. And I listened all day to the great information that was thrown out by my colleagues here on 92.5. But every once in a while, I need a break. So I flipped over and I heard some music, and I was really in a sensitive moment. And all of a sudden it came to me, and it was like, this is so awesome, and this is so deep, and it sounded like this. If you get caught between the moon and New York City, the best that you can do is fall in love. And I was like, damn, that is awesome, and that is deep. But it wasn't good enough for me as I continuously sang Christopher Cross in the chorus. I'm big on if you could change one word in a song, what would it be? And I came up with this. I want your opinion on it, JJ. If you get drunk between the moon and New York City, the best that you can do is fall in love. I like it better. Replace caught with drunk.
I don't even know what song that is. Arthur's theme. Okay.
If you get drunk between the moon and New York City. There you go. So I started singing that to myself. And as a matter of fact, I went on, what is it that I have? Amazon or whatever. I have Sirius and Amazon. And
Spotify or whatever.
Yeah, I actually played the song.
Now,
I sang the chorus with it.
Your own chorus.
Right, my own chorus by adding the word if you get drunk. Because if you listen to Christopher Cross during the chorus, it actually sounds like he's saying if you get drunk. This is the very beginning. It's kind of set.
About to ask,
I mean, he hits the high notes. Here we go. Ready? Sing it with me, people. Let's go. I just want everyone to be happy. Tongues and ears.
Now, was Arthur a show or a movie?
Arthur was a movie.
And they made a theme song for it. God, I love the
We
80s.
just lost Terry Garr, who was in Arthur.
Is it a comedy? What is Arthur?
It was a comedy where he dressed as a she, Dustin Hoffman. No.
That's a different
No. That's a different one. Arthur's the drunk little guy.
Yes, I've seen him fall out of cars.
What the heck was his name? He was like a spoiled brat. Hey, he actually passed a few years ago. He was like 5 feet tall. I can't think of his name. Right
his name is Dudley Moore.
Dudley Moore. Thank you so much.
He's perpetually drunk and completely rudderless.
Yeah.
He dutifully supported by his sharp-tongued and quick-witted butler, Hobson.
Hold on a second. Hear that?
Oh, yeah. I heard
if you get drunk between the moon and New York City.
Now, is there any other fake lyrics that you thought were something else for years and years and years?
Well, the one that disappoints me the most is Like a Rock by Bob Seger. Because at the very end, when Seger's really bringing it, he says, sometimes late at night, okay? And I think the song says, sometimes late at night when something by the firelight. And it should say, sometimes late at night when I'm stoned by the firelight.
All right, hold on. I got it right here.
Yeah, get to that, because that's really important. I mean, we need to change some of these words. It would help out some of these artists.
Before this. Yeah.
Hard against the wind, like a rock.
Tootsie's the movie you were thinking.
I see myself
I think it's before that. It's his last. It's his last. Yeah, it's right here.
I sit and I wonder sometimes where they've gone.
Sometimes late at night when I'm stoned by the firelight.
And sometimes late at night, oh, when I'm bathed in the firelight.
No, you can't be baked by the firelight when you're stoned by the firelight. I changed that word.
Okay.
I know you asked me a different question.
For the radio, I'm sure that you can't have something like that in the 80s at this point. By the way, Seeger just absolutely kills every single song.
One of the great live concerts you'll see is Bob Seger.
He's in St. Petersburg, Florida, January 15th.
Is he really?
Yes. Duke Energy Center.
May have to go out there and see him.
See the fam.
Yeah, it's a great trip. You said St. Pete?
Yeah.
Beautiful trip. All right, we kind of need to get caught up here on a break, but I took it to a different direction. You asked me a question about did I ever think? Oh, several.
There's like some very famous ones, wrapped up like a deuce in the middle of the night or whatever.
Blinded by the Light, which is actually a Bruce Springsteen song.
I did not know that.
Yes. Man for Man, covered that song. You know what's incredible about that song? Bruce Springsteen is a multi-billionaire. Bruce Springsteen has never had a number one hit.
Yeah, you told me that. I was shocked.
He's had some number two hits, like Dancing in the Dark and stuff like that, Born in the USA, but he's never had a number one. That song, Blinded by the Light by Manfred Mann, actually went number one.
Wow. So does he get royalties from that?
I don't know how that works. I really don't know how cover stuff works. I think some are lent. I think some maybe you just ask.
Mm-hmm.
Like that. I'm actually going to see that new Bob Dylan movie on Christmas. But he wrote All on the Watchtower, and it was covered by a lot of people. But most people think that Jimi Hendrix, sang that song, where he made it just absolutely, phenomenal edition of it. But I don't know how covers work. I really don't.
I'm sure it's
Who's the guy in jail? P. Diddy?
Yes, P. Diddy is in jail.
I know he took the Sting.
Oh, that became a huge thing. Yes.
When Biggie died?
Yes.
And he did the Every Breath You Can Take, kind of background to it. I think he pays Sting like $2,000 a day, every day, for that song. I do. I think that's the amount. It's either $2,000 a day or $2,000 a week. I actually think it's $2,000 a day in royalties that Sting gets from that. All right.
God, what a life.
We will come back and,
does he get it sent straight to his canteen?
I don't know. No. P. Diddy's got to pay that.
Oh, damn it. Oh,
okay.
I see. Yeah, I don't know why.
This isn't part of his commissary, all right? Hey, when the Jaguars go freaking 3-11, and when the Jaguars start the year by just going 0-4, and they say, screw you, Jaguar fans, we're going to talk Christopher Cross.
Make Friday feel like the weekend.
We're wasting time.
That's why we give you Pre-Game Friday.
Let's do it. Come on.
We'll get you ready for the games. Brought to you by Dream Finders Homes, official home builder of the Jacksonville Jaguars on 1010XL.
Ballou here for Smunez Vision. Why Smunez Vision? Well, I've been with Dr. Neil Smunez now since I got back to Jacksonville in 2006. 37 years of experience he has. Smunez Vision is a family organization that focuses on personal high-quality medical and surgical eye care. Dr. Catherine Smunez is fellowship-trained in cornea and cataract surgery and all refractive surgery. Combined, that's 30 years plus in laser eye surgery. Visit SmunezVision.com today. Here you can see.
These are interesting economic times. That's why it's so important to have someone you can count on. That's ITP Partners. Jacksonville folks taking care of our Jacksonville money. Experience? You best believe you want to give your hard-earned money to folks you trust. Jeff Hartman, Chris Bryan, Dan Abel, Reed Wingate, Scott Regner, Janice Cobb, and Reagan Wright have the expertise and knowledge to help clients in their financial lives. Focusing on investment management, financial planning, and risk management. ITP Partners. Financial partners for life. Securities offered through American Portfolios Financial Services, Inc. Member FINRA SIPC.
Barley and Pie Brewing Company in Fleming Island is excited to announce an all-new happy hour, 7 days a week. You heard right. Every day from 3 until 6 p.m. and again from 9 until close. Barley and Pie has deals you can't resist. 2-for-1 clay lights, 2-for-1 house wines, and much more. Experience the all-new happy hour at Barley and Pie Brewing Company in Fleming Island.
Local 234 plumbers, pipe fitters, and HVAC technicians would like to wish everyone a Merry Christmas and thank you to all the members and contractors for their continued support and partnership. Together, they've helped build a stronger foundation for Jacksonville since 1901. Enjoy spending time with your friends and families this holiday season. Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Local 234, make the right connection. Proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Dan Hicken and Jeff Prosser start the week by giving the ball to the best back in Duval.
And off, Fred Taylor.
Monday morning running back with Fred Taylor is fueled by Epstein and Robbins DUI defense firm and Monahan Jewelers on 1010XL.
Come to Monahan Jewelers' 47th annual holiday sale now with up to 30% off GIA certified diamonds and up to 40% off our entire store. Certified diamonds, gemstones, engagement rings, diamond studs, designer brands. We're not a big box store. We're your local family jeweler with an amazing hand-picked inventory for every budget, and with interest-free financing, enjoy beautiful jewelry with a low monthly payment. Support your local family jeweler this Christmas with up to 40% off our entire inventory. Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach, open 7 days a week in December.
My name's Jim. I'm 53 years old. There should be options in life, like ways to lose weight. Medications now feel like the only option. I mean, it sounds like a guarantee. I do have friends who have lost weight with them. I tried holding off. I did other diets, but I was miserable. I'd rather be fat and happy. The problem was I wasn't happy fat. I was about to start the meds, but then I heard of Awaken 180's GLP-1 program. Turned out it does the same thing as the meds without injecting myself for life. It absolutely worked. I dropped 45 pounds. I'm now in maintenance, and I feel better than my friends who are still on the meds. Listen, I barely know what GLP-1 is. What I do know is Awaken 180 worked for me, and I was far from miserable doing it.
Thanks, Jim. You all know our success with Awaken 180, and now with Awaken 180's GLP-1 Balance, you address the root causes of weight issues. Do it naturally, then keep it off. Awaken180weightloss.com.
There's still time to grab a mouth-watering holiday roast at Southern Steer Butcher in Ortega. Come for the roast and leave a hero with last-minute gift cards for the whole fam.
For tasty tips and juicy breasts, choose Southern Steer Butcher.
Oh, could this vintage store be any cuter?
Right? And the best part? They accept Discover.
Accept Discover? In a little place like this? I don't think so, Jennifer.
Oh, yeah, huh? Discover's accepted where I like to shop. Come on, baby, get with the times.
Right. So we shouldn't get the parachute pants?
These are making a comeback. I think.
Discover is accepted at 99% of places that take credit cards nationwide. Based on the February 2024 Nielsen report.
Human trafficking destroys lives. You could do something to create hope this season. Make an end-of-the-year donation to Rethreaded. Your gift helps provide employment and support services for local survivors of human trafficking. Visit rethreaded.com and click on the tab to donate.
SportsForecaster.com has all the data you need to project tomorrow's winners. Register for free and track the performance of all your favorite players and teams, including all your fantasy team picks and prospects. Sports Forecaster has the most detailed player profiles on the web. Precise depth charts, every transaction, every injury, every news update. No ranting or raving, no preening or barstool bluster. At SportsForecaster.com, you get the timely info you need for every game. SportsForecaster.com. Sign up for free today.
Ho, ho, ho! When I need gifts for special people, I go to Tobacco Cove at 3849 Bay Meadows Road. They have everything you need to make Christmas as special as they are. Find the finest in limited cigars, pipes and pipe tobacco, and the accessories that make life easier like humidors, cutters, and lighters. And don't forget Lampe Bergère fragrance lamps. So, take my advice and go to Tobacco Cove, 3849 Bay Meadows Road, and make this Christmas one they'll remember.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Blinded by the lights, wrapped up like a douche, another runner in the night.
Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
All right, Carson Beck out for the playoffs. That was announced today. A couple of reports, including On3 Sports, saying that he's not going to be able to give it a go. Instead, it's going to be Gunnar Stockton. Saw what he did when he came in. Certainly provided a little bit of life for Georgia. against Texas. But once we get deep into this against, Texas is a very quality team. They could get Texas for a third time. Can he move the ball effectively in the air? Of course, Georgia has an extra week to heal. They're one of 4 teams that actually do get a bye. But that's a big blow.
They get the winner of tomorrow night's game.
Yeah.
Notre Dame, Indiana.
Mm-hmm.
Which is a good draw.
Yeah. Very good draw.
Compared to the number 1 team in the nation who gets the winner of who gets the winner of Ohio State versus Tennessee.
Yeah. They haven't done a great job with any of this. It's easy to sit back and say, what are they doing? It feels like first-year mistakes. And we've heard all the complaints. Should they not allow those 4 teams to get the bye if they're not the 4 highest-ranked teams? And I think that is a quality argument. The other thing they're talking about is 3 automatic teams yearly going in from the SEC, 3 at large, and 2 at large coming in from the Atlantic Coast. I don't know how you're going to do that with the Big Ten. It still smells. So maybe this thing just blows up and they say 14 with only 2 byes or 16 no byes, or what I'd love to have is a 32-team playoff. Just get rid of conference championship Saturday. Just get rid of it. And have a 32-team college football playoff. But there's no leadership. You heard Tim Brando, his meltdown earlier, and he's right on with this. And Timmy's been big on this forever. There's no leadership with this game. And I'll be interested to see how these ratings are. It doesn't help that they're going up on Saturday against the NFL. Shame on the NFL, by the way. That's the NFL's fault. The NFL gets 100% of their talent from the college field. Show a little bit of respect to the game that is played before you make it to the next level. The NFL could put these games for 1 week, get rid of it on this Saturday, and play them all on a Sunday. So I'm blaming the NFL.
Yeah, it's one thing to compete with the NBA on Christmas when, the NBA sort of made Christmas Day their thing. Growing up, it was always the Aloha Bowl, or that was the only game on for any sport on Christmas Day. And then the NBA kind of took that over 10 or 15 years ago. And the NFL's like, hey, this looks like a good money-making opportunity. I get that. That's like one of their main competitors. But like you said, I hate how they look at college football as competition instead of like working hand in hand with it. But luckily for college football ratings, I believe both those games are on Netflix. So, I know everybody owns Netflix now pretty much. Like, everyone has access to Netflix. But a lot of people are going to forget those games are even on. That's just not a normal channel you would go to, a normal app you would go to when wanting to watch sports. So, out of sight, out of mind.
Peacock, NBC and Peacock.
NBC and Peacock.
And then the second one is on Fox. All right, so
okay.
But here's what really stinks.
I was thinking of Christmas Day games are on Netflix. Sorry about that.
Okay. Here's what stinks about what the NFL is doing on Saturday. You got a huge game at 4:30. You got the Steelers at the Ravens. Okay, that is a huge game. And wouldn't the NFL be smarter by wanting eyeballs to watch Clemson at Texas, where you get this look at Quinn Ewers and all this stuff coming out that Ewers is either going to the NFL or he's going to transfer for a year and up his draft stock, and it's Arch Manning. If there's an injury, Arch Manning is in. Doesn't the NFL, wouldn't they be smart to allow the college game to flourish because it's the incoming talent to their league?
It's creating stars. Like, it would be creating, Quinn Ewers, whoever it is. But yeah, the absolute opposite of what I just said is actually happening. The NFL in that 4:30 window is going to blow college football out of the water.
No doubt.
The NFL game is on Fox. Not even, it's just regular, not even cable, basic cable. And Clemson, Texas, which I forgot about this, they sold the rights, some of these games, to freaking TNT. So at 4 o'clock, the Clemson-Texas game is on a channel that has never shown a college football game. So, like, this is such a joke, man. Like, the college football playoff has become laughable already. Like,
They made a lot of mistakes.
That. There's the you know what is on ESPN and ABC at that same time? The actual FCS playoffs. So, like, not only is college football's own playoff competing with the NFL, they have it competing on ABC and ESPN with the FCS
I didn't
playoffs.
realize that.
So it's
South Dakota, North Dakota.
That's embarrassing. So the first two games of the day on Saturday, SMU, Penn State, and Clemson, Texas, are on TNT and HBO Max. I hate what's happened to this sport. It's just like they just kill themselves for the quick gain of getting a lot of money for this playoff deal. They took it, not ever thinking about like the long-term consequences of what it does to the sport. Same with the transfer portal, the NIL, all that. It's just a mess. Did you hear today a former offensive lineman for Alabama who I guess is pretty plugged into what's going on? And Josh Pate seconded this, but he said he heard today from a really reliable source there is a team in the college football playoff that is actively paying its players to stay throughout the playoffs so they will have enough people to practice with them. So, like, the players that aren't...
Wait a minute. I did not hear that.
Yes, so the players... he won't say what team it is.
It's a great world.
Yeah, so the players that are not starters on the team that want to hit the portal because everyone knows now is the time to do it. Rosters are getting filled.
Opposite of what Dillingham said at Arizona State. Where he
sort of said the same. He was like, if you need to get out early, we're letting the guys get out early, but most of them want to stay. But this guy's saying there's a team out there that's having to pay their guys to practice.
Love to
the
know
ones
who that
aren't
is.
going to start.
Love to know who that is.
Me too, but it's sad, man.
It is sad, and it needs some serious fixing.
We got Penn State's backup quarterback. We talked about this earlier in the week.
Yeah, Brando reiterated it. Last hour.
He won a game for them this year. He's been part of their game plan.
So if Drew Howard goes down, Penn State's
screwed. Totally screwed, because this guy had to enter the portal. Well, didn't have to, but he chose to enter the portal and go somewhere else. So I just hate that we're making these kids make that decision.
Boy, this is really screwed up. I'm looking at noon, South Dakota State, North Dakota State at the Fargo Dome in Fargo, North Dakota on ABC and ESPN Plus. Then at 3:30, it's South Dakota against Montana State.
Those teams are always good.
But it's on ABC, ESPN Plus, and you're right. The first two games are TNT and Max. SMU and Penn State is on TNT, and so I mean, everything's changed in our life. Again, I was a DirecTV subscriber going back to 1995. I just said goodbye to that and went to the YouTube, streaming. And we pick up everything, but I always look at it this way. What if you're out and you're on the road and you're doing some Christmas shopping or whatever, and you're like, all right, I'm going to pop into a bar.
Mm-hmm.
There's a chance that game may not be on.
Oh, yeah.
If it's TNT.
Dude, I mean, especially the way I'm just going to talk very generally about sports bars. I'm not talking about anyone in particular.
I know what you're going to say. I know exactly what you're going to say.
The managers at sports bars most of y'all should be arrested. Seriously. Because, if you call yourself a sports bar in any way, if you have any sort of sport paraphernalia on the wall, you better at least have a basic schedule of games that are on. And it's crazy. You will walk into like a big-time establishment. There will be games on live, and you'll see it like the Golf Channel showing like a rerun of an LPGA event, or they have like the NFL Network on all day showing like replays of a game from 2016. Like, dude, get it together, guys. Like, if you want people like me to go out and fork over the massive amount of money that it takes nowadays to go get wings and beer, you better damn well have the freaking game on the TV. I hate having to ask for the game to get on at a sports bar, man.
It happens all the time.
Everywhere. It's just something so simple that they could fix, and they choose to be so incredibly lazy about it. I hate that.
In some places, they just don't care.
No,
like I remember we were talking about Federal Hill a little bit earlier, and I'm trying to remember when the heck this was. I'm trying to date myself. It must have been a regular season game between the Patriots and the Jaguars, because I swear it was Florida, Tennessee. So that would have been October. Did the Jaguars play a road game in New England in October, going back a few years ago? I know they had the preseason stuff, and obviously the AFC Championship game. I know they had a few others. I swear it was Florida and Tennessee. I may be wrong. But on that same day, I met my parents and my sister and her family out on Federal Hill, which is the main street that runs through Providence. And I'm like, well, we got to get this Florida-Tennessee game. I got to keep an eyeball on it. And every TV had Notre Dame, the University of Massachusetts.
Oh, you told me that story.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. I would have been livid.
It was unbelievable.
And, no one's even watching that anyway.
Can you put one of these TVs on CBS, please? I swear, and I don't know the date or the year, but you remember me telling you that story before.
Yes, and at least I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. It's New England. They don't care about college football. But, dude, it happens here in Florida, like everywhere. It's just something that can be easily fixed. Yeah.
That's bad managing. And, if I owned those bars, I would be livid.
I love when I go to a bar and they got the manager there's got the clipboard. If it's like a game day and he knows which game's on which TV, sometimes they'll have it under the TV. Like, when they have it together, I love that. It's just something so simple that not enough places do.
I need my restaurant manager with a clipboard.
Yeah, absolutely.
I do, and I need him knowing everything that's going on as far as games. But where were we the other night? They didn't even have it on. I don't want to complain anymore. I don't know, but it's a very fair point that you just.
Someone's saying 2015 Jags at Pats. Pats won 51-17 that day. It was September 27th.
Okay, I bet if we look, I want to say Florida played Tennessee the day before. Okay,
they did.
Okay, so that
Florida won 28-27. That was the Callaway game.
And I missed.
Oh my God!
So obviously
I would be so pissed.
Well, I taped. I always tape and go back and watch. But I remember being in the bar or the restaurant. And again, can you pull up? Can you pull up who Notre Dame played that day? I swear to God, it was like the University of Massachusetts, or it was someone like that who they just blew out.
All right, so Notre Dame in 2015, September. Yes, UMass Minutemen. They won 62-27 at 3:30. Yep. Obviously, the exact same time that CBS would have had that game.
I mean, right on Federal Hill Road. I mean,
we got to see the Minutemen play.
Unbelievable atmosphere. I mean, if you look at per capita with the Mafia way back when in Providence, Rhode Island, you spread that out over the 5 boroughs of New York, or the Outfit in Chicago, or the Angiulios, or Whitey Bulger throughout Boston, even a small city that Boston is. If you look at it per capita, Federal Hill in Providence, Rhode Island was absolutely it.
Rich of rich.
Absolutely it. Well, they were really connected. That was, and when you think of Mafia.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
When you think of Mafia, like next to maybe Kansas City, which doesn't get a lot of play, Providence, Rhode Island would probably be it. Compared to the size of the state and then the city, the amount of
mafioso per capita,
my God,
highest in America.
Absolutely. That's the best way to say it. And that would have been Providence, Rhode Island, back in the day. Those days, sadly, or perhaps not sadly, are long gone.
Get game day going with news and notes, injury updates, and everything you need to know to enjoy the game on the Terminix Kickoff Show.
Go, go, go!
5 hours before kickoff. Presented by Clearwater Irrigation and Gatorade on 1010XL.
Do the Garber Wiggle, Garber Wiggle, 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 Garber Wiggle.
Garber Automall is home of the lifetime warranty. Every new Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram, Chevy, Buick, GMC, and Ford comes with a lifetime warranty. At Garber Auto Mall, your purchase is covered for life. Visit us in Green Cove Springs or at GarberAutomall.com. And remember, at Garber Auto Mall, there's always a little room for wiggle.
Garber wiggle, Garber wiggle, wiggle wiggle, Garber wiggle.
Are you embarrassed by your ugly, cracked concrete driveway? Need to enhance your home's curb appeal? Stonecore on Phillips Highway is your one-stop shop for all your outdoor needs. Replacing with new stone pavers will transform your driveway into a stunning work of art. Say goodbye to unsightly concrete and hello to beautiful, durable pavers that last for years. Visit Stonecore today and let's beautify your home together. Stonecore.co. We do outdoors better.
Brackish Vodka, the official vodka of UNF Athletics, 100% made in Jacksonville, is available at all local liquor stores. Visit Browdy's, Total Wine, ABC, Shores, Golden, Zahara's, Golden Ox, and more. Drink our gluten-free San Francisco Spirit award-winning vodka and see why it's the smoothest vodka you can buy. When you drink Brackish Vodka, you support all of our local employees and all the money stays in Jacksonville. Drink Brackish Vodka and live life slightly salty. Proud partner of the Jaguars.
Everything about the game has changed, except for the most important thing. What you have inside. It is what drives the game. It refuses to be ignored. It sweats everything, turns an athlete into a legend. Gatorade, is it in you?
From Gatorade Zero to Gatorade Endurance Formula and Gator Light, there's something for every athlete. Find it at your local Winn-Dixie. It's a win-win. Gatorade, official partner of the NFL.
Chris Doring is chomping at the bit to tell you about today's Gators.
Chomp, chomp, chomp!
With Dan Hicken and Jeff Prosser. Tuesday mornings on The Drill. Brought to you by Farrah & Farrah, the official personal injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. On 1010XL.
Yo, this is Tony from Tony D's. Are you looking for a great slice of pizza? Well, we have about 12 varieties. Most places won't have slices of pizza after lunch. At Tony D's, you can get a slice all day. It's always fresh at Tony D's Pizza. Bay Meadows and 295.
Hello, this is Father Nicholas Lowe, and I want to talk to you about being a peacemaker. Friends, so often we can only want to help people who are in our inner circle. But God never had inner circles. The world was his inner circle, and he's depending on us to make a difference and to leave our mark in this life. So go out today receiving his peace and then sharing it with the world.
To hear more inspirational messages by Reverend Dr. Nicholas Lowe, please visit our website at stjohnthedivine.com.
Yo, what's happening, sports bettors? It's your boy E to the T, and our listeners have been killing it in a year full of surprises. My bookie is the one book that got your back. No fluff, no second guessing, just straight up action. Does other sports books pay out when you push on a bet? My bookie pays you back. And if you're new to the game and not sure where to start, we've got you covered. Start up, use the promo code 1010XL, and that'll double your bankroll with a 100% deposit bonus right from jump. Here's a pro tip to get you rolling. The NFL teams with powerhouse offensive lines are dominating the run game this year. And betting game total unders has been printing money. So stack that on my bookie risk-free Thursdays. That's right. There's a new risk-free odds boost every Thursday. To find the bet, click the Bet Boost tab and scroll down. If it hits, you win. If it doesn't, my bookie refunds you your money. Sign up and get that double deposit bonus with my bookie. That's the best sign-up bonus in Florida for Florida bettors. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere with my bookie.
Hi, this is Jeff Norman.
And I'm Mike Jones.
And we are the owners of Duck Duck Rooter Plumbing, Septic, and Air Conditioning.
With the holiday season upon us, we want to take a moment to wish you all a very Merry Christmas and say thank you to our amazing customers.
We're so grateful for the trust you place in us each year. It's been a pleasure serving you, and we hope you have a wonderful holiday season with family and friends.
And remember, if you have any issues, we'll be here to help throughout the holidays and beyond.
Merry Christmas from all of us at Duck Duck Rooter.
Here's your 1010XL First Coast Community Calendar.
The Hometown for Heroes Home Buyers Program helps you get your down payment and closing costs paid. Call to learn more. 574-7180.
City Rescue Mission has been providing food, clothing, and love for over 70 years to the homeless in Jacksonville. If someone you know is struggling, City Rescue Mission is here to help. Learn more about the City Rescue Mission at crmjax.org.
If you know someone with cancer and no insurance, call the U.S. Uninsured Helpline at 800-234
1317.
The Creeks Athletic Association in St. Johns County offers a variety of sports for children 5 to 18. Learn how to get your child involved at caale.org.
Builders Care is looking for volunteers, and there are so many ways you can help. Find out how at builderscare.org.
If you're involved in a community event and you'd like us to help spread the word, find out how at 1010xl.com.
One wrong click on a phishing email can cost your business everything. Data loss, lawsuits, and shattered trust. DoubleCheck Cybersecurity offers AI-powered solutions to stop threats before they happen. Visit doublecheck.com today.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Now the cool down with Donovan Air, Electric and Plumbing, keeping Jack's cool since '87.
Gunner is better. That's what the 6121 is saying. Go Dogs. Well, he's going to get an opportunity for Georgia. Reports Carson Beck will not go. Of course, Jacksonville's Carson Beck, and we all saw the injury against Texas, and obviously Georgia was good enough to beat Texas for a second time. We will see. Georgia gets the winner, correct, of Notre Dame, Indiana. You said that a few minutes ago.
They do.
So Georgia fans, I imagine, will be paying close attention to your next opponent. That'll be playoff game number 1, which does begin coming up tomorrow night. Really, nothing has changed today for the Jaguars as far as the injury report. The same as Wednesday. A bunch of questionable guys. 3 on the offensive line with Walker Little, with Brandon Sheriff, and with Ezra Cleveland. Also, the situation limited with who am I thinking of here? The tight end, whose name? Second round, Brenton Strange, who, that would be a disappointment with Ingram out. 11 receptions, 73 yards last week. Let's wrap it up by giving away a couple of tickets. Why don't we do that? You got, 2 there for the game coming up against Tennessee?
I do. A pair of tickets, December 29th, Jags versus Titans here in Jacksonville. So we have a little bit of trivia for you. The last game the Jags played the Raiders, and obviously they're playing this weekend, it was the last game in Oakland. And the Jags went into the fourth quarter of that game. It was 2019, down 10 points. In the fourth quarter late, they had 2 touchdowns, both thrown by Gardner Minshew, to win the game. Who was the receiver who caught both of those touchdowns in the fourth quarter? So 2019 against the Oakland Raiders, who caught both those touchdown passes? Be caller number 4 right now, or have the answer at 641-1010.
I've always said this, that it's not a drug. We don't get tested here for drugs. There's no drug testing. As a matter of fact, in a lot of circles, it's a drug requirement to work here. But if they were to ever test me after that game at the old Coliseum there in Oakland, that entire fan base was smoking dope, just ripping marijuana in the black hole. And I remember that game. I know the answer is, but you'll give out 2 tickets. To 3725 just brought up a good idea. Brotherhood. Have you ever seen the series?
No.
Much of it is based out of Providence. If I remember correctly, it bleeds into Boston as well. But you can check it out on Google. Yeah, very good. Some really good character actors that you've seen on a lot of shows. I'm guessing it came out, I don't know, it was pre-COVID. I'm guessing it came out 6-7 years ago. Something like that. That's why I've forgotten a little bit about it. Tell you what I've been doing. I've been going back and watching the Sopranos again from the first year on. Of course, that came out 20-plus years ago, but you just forget things. And the second time around, I've just started their final season, and I've been doing it over like the last couple of months. Just watch an episode here or 20 minutes of an episode here, whatever. And I'm glad that I've done it because, to me, it's the greatest series ever produced. I put it right there, a smidge over The Wire. The Wire was my second favorite. And I loved Oz, the old HBO prison series that ran for a while. But this one right here, Brotherhood, was really good. I may have to go back and check it out again. But anyway, I appreciate the listener bringing that out. So we can share that with you if you're looking for something to watch with, obviously, Jaguars football ending in a couple of weeks. College football around here. The Knolls have been done. The Gators play tomorrow. And what a way to wrap up their year by winning 4 straight. They knock off the Green Wave tomorrow. They're going to carry that momentum. The big news coming out today about, flipping this 5-star wide receiver, wants to be a little bit closer to home. If, in fact, that happens, and it may have happened while I'm on air. I didn't see if anything official came in, but I'm talking about Dallas Wilson, who has asked to be released from his financial affidavit. And apparently he's going to join the Gators. They're going to be...
They're killing it right
They
now.
really are. They're going to have all sorts of momentum. They're going to be a top 10 team. I don't know if top 10. They're going to be a top 15 team.
Absolutely. As they should be.
They are during the offseason. Thank you to Tim Brando. Thank you to Philly Godfather. We have a winner.
We do, Chuck, and he called the winner correctly. It was Chris Connolly.
Former Dog.
What a legend. Jags legend Chris Connolly with both touchdown passes in 2019.
In the black hole. My goodness, what a lot of fun that afternoon was. What a lot of fun this was, at least for me. Folks, have a great night. We're back at it Friday from 6 until 8. Hacker Nation coming up right now for JJ LaSelva. My name is Rick Ballou. We'll do it again tomorrow at 6 o'clock.
Playoff teams limit their weaknesses. Offense, defense, and special teams all contribute.
All 3 phases come in.